Vampire Requiem, a Requiem for London. Tonight, we set the scene. Well, where is Casper right now?
Right now, Casper will first gather the things left to him by the Archon that he met at the Nosferatu meetings.
Not the Archon, the sheriff.
The sheriff, my bad.
Um, the sheriff has left you a multitude of stakes, a shotgun, a few rounds of ammunition to go with it, and what appears to be a stun grenade.
He'll look at the grenade, and he has no real understanding of more, I guess, quote unquote, advanced firearms. But he's more just surprised at all that he was given such a grenade of anything. So he kind of takes it as a gauge of, I guess, the confidence in him, and also possibly what he's dealing with. And but as he gathers the equipment, he thinks upon what he was told from both the sponsor and from the sheriff that the sponsor would want as much information of the situation as possible. And if I could capture the individual, that'd be even greater. But as the sheriff says, I'm dealing with a person that was going to replace him, and she's losing her mind. So he's put that engaged exactly what he's doing. He is curious because what he's known about vampires that are getting very, very spiraling down the ways and becoming a white, that they tend to not have a lot of human followers. So he's thinking that she won't have too many things to impede him, but that doesn't change the fact that she may just be ghouling and blood binding people to her. So that may not matter. So the big thing he's going to do, definitely for sure, because he's not that kind of character, is just observe, set record, and then evaluate when the time comes.
Okay. Now, you were given a location, or at least the location of your target's haven. Which is close to the city airport. High rise, just to the east of the airport, overlooking the River Thames. A series of highly expensive apartments. Oh, oh.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking because that means that she's at least stable enough to live in an area like this. So that keeps something in mind.
If you'd like, you can roll me intelligence plus streetwise.
Hmm?
You can roll me intelligence plus streetwise if you like.
No successes.
Okay. Ben, you haven't really heard anything about the area you've been traveling to, or that you're driving to right now. It's as far as you're aware, it's a series of very nice apartments on the east side of London, out of the way enough that they're considered a sort of prime real estate, but close enough to the inner city and the airport that that they're in a convenient location.
I see. So, as he looks around and he goes to the neighborhood, I'll spend a blood to use what I think it's not Shadow's Touch, but Tier 3 of Obfuscate that completely make me invisible. I don't even want to, because I don't know exactly what kind of blind spots this place may have in areas where it's not really meant for people to be around to, or facing the crowd. Yeah, Cloak of Night, sorry.
Well, pardon?
So I like to activate Cloak of Night because I'm not sure of the environment of this area, so I don't want to go into a blind spot with facing the crowd and get caught.
Okay. You activate Cloak of Night. Um, Nobody notices you. You're considered to be, perfectly normal. If people look at you at all, they don't. You're more or less invisible. People don't register you. They overlook you. They know somebody's there, but they don't pay heed to that person. As you walk down, make your way down a nice waterfront path. Um, you can actually see the Thames barriers from where you are. It's just off to your south. Um, kind of have to lean over the railing of the river, but you can make it out. As you make your way towards the apartments, you see a few people pass by you. Most of them look fairly well to do, very much in line with where you're at right now. Although the atmosphere they're giving off is quite tense, unnerved even.
Like, unusually somber or hostile for this kind of area, at least as far as I can think of.
Pretty much, they come across as quite insecure. If you didn't know anybody, you'd think they'd be living in the projects.
There's a part of this that really bothers Casper. And this seems like a clear sign of maybe not necessarily a vampire, but something is affecting this place. As he continues on, he'll try to pay attention if anybody has any spare words that he's walking by, maybe potentially talking about maybe lack of sleep or just possibly unusual occurrences happening around lately.
No, nothing of that sort. Most of them, the few people that pass by you are quite quiet. Um, Sometimes they do talk to each other, but about day-to-day stuff.
Okay. So then he'll continue on, and he's doing his best to look around and look for signs of potentially kindred activity. He's gonna see if kind of look for uh, possibly physical markings. So, maybe if he sees enough people, notice that people that seem to be a bit more pale, in a sense of possibly going anemic in certain areas or not.
Um, well, sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, he's the Casper is looking for signs of potential vampire activity. So looking for any type of markings, anything on the wall, because he's been told that there are certain symbols kindred use to communicate. Though that's more in the cacophony. He's also seeing if he's noticed people that seem to be weaker looking coming from certain areas.
Let's see, Mr. Casper. Hmm. You do not have cacophony savvy.
No, I do not. So
Okay. Um, then make me a wits plus composure roll as you approach the designated apartment complex.
alrighty. Any penalties or just the roll?
Just a roll.
All right. Three successes.
Okay. And as you approach the building, um, you don't see any symbols of importance to you. Um, None that you understand, at least. There might be one here, but you're not noticing it. Doesn't stand out to you. But you do catch the scent of blood as you approach the building.
If only they had blood out, and I can maybe perceive the intent of the blood, or maybe where it came from. Uh, because just because I'm saying blood doesn't mean there's a vampire activity. People bleed every day. But he'll go towards the smell just to be sure.
Okay. Um, as an aside, how do you get in? The door is locked. Obviously, it's an apartment building, so you can't just walk in.
Okay. If the door is locked, Casper will bring out his minor or small lock-picking set. He'll listen first to make sure if any people are inside, or things pretending to be people. So he'll listen to the door real quick. Do I hear any heartbeats?
Um, Not on the ground floor, no.
Yeah. Hmm. Not at all. Like not even like people around me. Hmm. I guess that's a bit more curious, but I said I won't pay attention too much. Well, once I have that kind of barometer that I don't think anybody's in there yet, we'll take out my monitor like Pumpkin said, and we'll try to pick the door clean. Blah.
Yeah, you can try and pick it open. You're in a nice neighborhood. Security is actually something of a concern, so I'm going to apply a -1 dice penalty.
Okay.
Not a significant dice penalty, but security is hardly anything out of this world. It's still a key lock, but it
Okay.
is
So
some some actual thought and attention has been put into the security of the building, so there will be a small dice penalty.
alrighty. And I guess since that's the case, this doesn't seem to be connected to any type of like like ADI security. If I mess up or I press on it at the wrong time, it's just gonna spring an alarm. It's more a fact that these are heavier locks and they're designed not to be easily picked. All right, I got 3 successes.
Okay, then takes you about a minute to get it open, but once you do, you're in.
Hmm.
And you're not spotted by anybody. You're relatively swift.
As I go around and close the door behind me gently, what do I see in the room?
What you see is at least on the ground floor. There's like a small seating area. There's the reception towards the back. It's a small room. Like the reception is barely a few yards from where you entered. It's closed off. Like it's a just a desk of a window, and then you know surrounded by a couple walls and a door into the room.
Okay.
Seating area off to the right. Um, then off to the left and the right, there's a stairway upwards, and then sort of to the right of the door where you would enter into the little receptionist's room. Um, there are a set of lifts, 3 in total.
Hmm.
Um, that will take you up and down the building. Whole place looks very clean, looks well looked after. It's fairly stylistic, has that sort of postmodern look to it. All the seats are beanbags. The tables made of glass. Um, Lots of there's some paintings on the wall. They're all fairly geometric.
Hmm. Casper will take that in about this place as he continues his movement, and he's going to keep trying to follow the smell of blood. So as he goes out the room, and he said there were 3 doors or 3 ways to go up and down the stairs.
You can go. There's two. There's a stairwell off to the left. There's a stairwell off to the right. Basically, the edge of each side of the room of the sort of foyer. Um, then there's 3 lifts just to the right of where staff would enter the reception room.
Alrighty.
The scent of blood. It's present but faint. You know a mortal wouldn't scent something this minute. Maybe a dog.
Yeah, and only if the dog was interested in finding something like this.
Mm, maybe. It's faint, but not not impossible to sniff out.
Oh, the scent of blood. They say it's very evident that it's human blood. It's not vitae, or probably be really noticeable for me.
Yeah, it's definitely human blood.
Then, as I get closer to the direction where I smell the human blood, so the place seems normal, right? There's like no other signs of disturbance or anything yet. Just the fact that there's faint blood in the air.
Oh, pardon?
So obviously, this place doesn't look too disturbed. Just the fact that I can smell that extremely minute detail of blood.
Yeah. If you walk up the stairs, yes. It doesn't appear that the stairway has been disturbed significantly. Um, the scent of blood begins to grow more intense as you walk up the stairwell. It's about a dozen floors to your destination. You know the number of the room, or the number of the apartment that your courier lives at, where they reside, their haven. So you've been told.
And this place seems perfectly fine. It's like he's got a. He's curious what he feels like the sheriff meant when she's saying this particular character is a spy, or like, and in a sense, typically they leave a mark, and like that, this is such a public and controlled area. Like, it'd be one thing if they were in like the sticks or the ghetto, then it'd be impossible to tell any further carnage. But this place outside of the mind of blood, he's thinking it fits the criteria.
Mm.
So now he's concerned that that the sheriff might be either over exaggerating or maybe he's mistaken. But he still wants to be on. But he's still going to be on his guard.
When you approach the door to your quarry's haven, um, the smell of vitae begins to grow. Quite quite thick.
Like even potentially this, and this is vitae, not human blood.
Well, blood. Thick
So
enough that you could almost taste it. In fact, it tastes tinny to your kindred senses. You can almost taste it like a snake. You can almost visualize it. Such is the strength of the scent as you have travelled up the stairs.
this is concerning. So it's definitely strong. Like, is it so strong that like a human would notice? Is it strong enough for a kindred to notice really
A
greatly?
human would probably notice this. To what extent, you're
Oh,
not sure. They'd probably smell something strange. Whether they'd identify it as blood is a different question, I suppose. Depends on how medically knowledgeable they are, whether they know what blood actually smells like. But a human would definitely notice that maybe something smells a bit wrong. Any animals, particularly animals trained in smelling blood, would be going off like crazy here. They'd be losing their minds. This this
that
place
is
would um, this place would raise a huge red flag to them.
that is very concerning. So he continues on his movement, a bit more careful, going closer to the smell of blood. He'll try to listen if he's hearing any type of groaning or moaning or mild sounds, discomfort or pain.
Um, Make me a wits plus composure check.
Three successes.
Okay. You do not smell, or rather, you do not hear the beating of a mortal's heart or the inhaling and exhaling of breath. You do have a note that the blood smells very fresh. And you can hear something in there. It's very faint. Something in there is breathing, but it's not human. The kindred doesn't register anything human breathing.
Oh, shite. Can't just open a door like that either. So, with this, Casper will wait in front of this door, and kind of listen in and seeing if listen for movement, seeing the person might come out or because at this point he's going to assume that the victim is more than likely dead. He's not like he's any hero. He's not going to kind of swoop there and try to save things. He's going to just hope that potentially this person will come out, but he won't wait forever.
Okay. Um, if you wait, um, you hear a faint breathing um, turn into what can almost sort of a climaxes of what can only be called uh, a pained roar or scream. So much so that you can hear it, and you definitely wager that anybody in the adjacent rooms could probably hear
He'll look around and see if there are any looky loos.
it. No one seems to respond, at least within the next 20 or so seconds.
Man, this will definitely break my obfuscate, but hopefully they don't just come rushing out. And Casper will knock on the door and kind of adjust his voice for mild obfuscation, and go, "Everything okay in there?"
The the room goes quiet for a moment before you'll begin to hear footsteps approach the door. You can hear mumbling as someone seems to approach the door from the other side. You can't quite discern what is being said, but it comes across as incoherent and manic.
No good. I'll spend another vitae, the front on the cloak of night, and see if the person opens the door.
Oh, you're just gonna obfuscate and wait for somebody to open the door?
Yeah. If she doesn't open, or if the person doesn't open the door, then he might make a move.
Okay. Someone will open the door. You see them, your quarry, your beast marks them as a competitor immediately. One second, let me get their thing for you. Zhang Zhuying. Her mouth and her chin, all the way down her neck, is stained with blood. It stains the white of her shirt. Um, she appears disheveled, pale. Her eyes manic. Her fangs protruding. From her guns.
Ooh, like, every red flag is going. The fact that she opened the door like that is, holy crap, what happened if I was just a regular person that opened the door or knocked on the door? And oh, he'll give. No, he won't give a moment, because a moment could be literally somebody comes by and sees this happening. So
She looks around, sees no one.
in the no, in the moment where she's kind of looking around, she sees no one. Can I slip past her into this room?
100%. If you look past her, you see what appears to be a rather handsome-looking man in his late 20s, wearing casual office wear with suspenders. Um, his throat torn out, blood all over the room, splattered on the floor, on a small table next to the sofa. Um, you see what appears to be blood smeared on the walls. Um, it looks bad. It looks really
Uh,
bad.
oh yeah,
In terms of masquerade safety, this whole area is this room is a giant masquerade breach.
yeah. Like, he doesn't internally a monologue cast first, like sweet Mary and Joseph. It's like, and from this point, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna pull out the stake and shite. I don't know if I can do that. I can't. I'm too young. But say, what are use physical intensity and vigor, but I don't actually have that opportunity. So, but I'm gonna pull out the stake and I'm gonna basically pray for a few seconds that she will go back into the room and close the door behind her.
Um, So, what happens is John takes a step out of her haven as
Oh,
she's looked around.
oh yeah. Once
As
she starts
she
to actually, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
um as she yells, "Where are you?
All right.
I did as you said, and nothing's changed."
Okay, that's something to consider. But consider it or not, yeah. Once she starts screaming and leaving the room, yeah, I'm gonna spend vigor for this because I need to do so much damage to stake her. And yeah, the idea what I'm going to do is hopefully stake her in the back. Oh, excuse me. Drag her into the room, and then yeah, it's time to start calling people and possibly play, defense if anybody gets interested in this room. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. So what you gonna do?
Yep. So I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna spend vigor, and I'm gonna try to stake her.
Alright. If you try and stake her from behind, I'll give you a +2 dice bonus. Or rather, I'll negate the penalty to staking.
Okay. And does she have her defense?
She does not. She does not see you. Um, she screams out the word liar as you go to stake her. Um,
Oh, thank God I didn't actually have to roll. I was like, this would have been a problem.
yeah. Do it. I believe in you.
Oh no, you do want me to roll?
I do want you to roll, yes.
No, the drama.
Drama.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna
Spend,
spend a will.
spend.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend willpower, and I'm gonna take a -1 penalty because I don't have any dots in weaponry.
God damn it. What? Ugh.
I told you, I made a social character.
You had XP to spend this down.
I thought I might have big a fight, so I gave myself another point in firearms. I didn't think it'd just be literally a crazy woman in a rich neighborhood who locked herself in a room. This was the exact opposite I was expecting.
well, well, I believe in you. Kinda. Let's see what you get.
And I roll strike, which is technically only 2.
Oh god, okay, we're fucked.
No, it's 4 dice.
Well,
I
let's see
can
what you
roll
get.
at
Let's see
least.
what you get. If you get a half decent roll, I may just die at a stake her. She's a little she's clearly not in the right state of mind right now to really.
I can at least get like 2 or 3 successes. I could probably do it. Yeah.
Probably. Let's see what you get.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay,
2.
okay, that's not bad. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Now, if I was feeling mean, I wouldn't. But you're working with what you got, and you did it. Um. So yeah, I mean, with vigor and the element of surprise, she's not really in a position to resist you. Um, if she were aware of you, you have no doubt, given what you've heard, that she'd rip you apart.
Oh yeah, I was like,
Um,
it is more surprising that this building has not been destroyed if she's acting like this. Like this place should be torn apart if she's speaking madness like that and just walking outside after killing somebody.
oh yeah, when you stake her, you do hear people making their way out to their doors. Uh, but you thrust the stake into her back. She falls over, cut off. Her voice literally abruptly falls silent as she immediately falls to the floor.
Oh, I don't let her fall. I grab her and drag her back into the room.
Oh, very smart.
It's like,
And you drag her back into the house.
And I'm curious if no one is if I get lucky if nobody catches people going to this door, can I use touch of shadow to obfuscate the door so people look past it, or is it too much? There's already too much attention on it.
I'll say you can.
Okay, and I believe regardless that costs a blood. Activate touch of shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep, it costs a blood, and it's just with and I'll even go a step higher and activate the cloak and night part. So it's just the doors is gone now. People forget there. Oh yeah, there is a room over here. It's like he's in super like, oh my god, I can't believe no one's dealt with this sooner. This could have exploded easily.
So you drag Jean into the into her haven, staked, only vaguely aware of what's happening. As you slam the door shut behind you and use touch of shadow to conceal it from mortal view, just as the doors on either side, neighboring Jean's own haven, open. You begin to hear murmuring outside, them conversing with each other. You can hear them talking with each other. Was it her again? Jesus fucking Christ, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm gonna lodge a complaint, this is intolerable.
Yeah. And then Casper's thinking like, she's been doing this for a while now. Like no one's, and it's just thinking like, how the hell did no one open this door? Nobody called the police sooner. It's like he's just thinking like, this is way more volatile than anybody told him. Like it's almost baffling.
Oh god, what the hell is that? I don't know, it's like someone dragging a cage of dead rats in here. What the hell? Christ. God, I thought they were just bundling up trash inside her apartment. What is this? Oh,
Wait, did she have trash outside?
she doesn't know. They said bundling up trash inside of her apartment. Seems like they misconstrued the smell for garbage, but it
Oh,
seems
sweet
like
Christ!
that.
She had dead animals outside her room. It's
No,
like
no, she
he didn't
didn't.
even.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I didn't even
Um,
notice that.
it seems they hold suspicions, though, at least like from what they're saying. But they don't seem to have put two and two together yet. The hell do you think she's doing with that? I don't know. Like, where's the? You sure it wasn't the other? Oh, sure, it was a. I mean, look at it. It's a huge. No. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's the wrong door. Let me just fucking let me just make the call, man. Okay. And you'll see them walk down, and they seem to clock another room as the culprit. It seems like a touch of shadow has at least done the trick. They're going to be calling up the wrong room. They're going to be calling. They're going to be giving the wrong apartment number as source of the disturbance.
Oh, thank God.
Of course.
Once it's off, then we'll realize maybe that was the
Yes.
wrong room.
They realize they made a mistake. The current concern is that you're trapped in this room with a staked kindred and a dead
Uh,
body.
I'm not gonna call my patron. I'm gonna call my sheriff. The sheriff, because at least officially he's in charge of security. But my
Let me,
patron,
yeah, let me double check here. Where you're located. I believe. Where is this? I'm just determining who is in charge of this area in terms of sheriff. There are 4 sheriffs. Conveniently for you, the sheriff you're in contact with is the one that actually is for one responsible for enforcing the law in this area. Lucky you.
Convenient. Yeah. Casper will call him and he'll do his best to keep his tone controlled, but obviously earnest.
Okay.
And he said we have a critical situation over here. He says, um, said new cold body trying to use basically obfuscate the language thing about dead body. Said messy, trying to do his best to be as normal sounding but very clear what's happening in the area right now.
What's going on?
Said you're right. She's not in her right mind. She's been extremely messy in this area. That it's a miracle no one find out. We have we have a casualty.
Okay, where specifically?
Said in her room in her haven. It's everywhere. And she might be carrying corpses of animals in trash cans in here, or trash bags in here.
Oh no, you think that's what the models believed. You don't see anything to that effect.
Okay. Yeah, he'll say, yeah, mainly there's a corpse. Said her damage is everywhere. Said this is a very critical situation.
Are police on scene?
No, but complaints are being made. This place will need to be quarantined quickly.
Very well, I'll make the call. A cleanup crew will be sent to your destination in 10 minutes.
So I'll run further interference to make and drive off any mortal influence or interference. Blah.
Hopefully that should be unnecessary.
So people came by the door. I already ran interference earlier. Said it could get worse. Said hopefully they won't come back.
Very well. Call me if there are any further complications.
So understood. And then Casper will hang up the phone and basically sit right in front of the door. And if for some reason somebody were able to break through the obfuscation of the door, he'll turn on dread presence that kind of hopefully veer people away from it.
Okay. A few minutes pass. Sorry, were you approaching the door and opening it or anything?
No, I said I said if anybody. Yeah, I said if anybody said I'm just standing in front of it. Said if anybody to break the obfuscation. Said he's gonna activate dread presence and try to scare people away from the door. or hopefully not even think about opening the door, questioning what's in here.
Okay. A few minutes later, you'll begin to hear some noise outside. Um, uh, two mortals, two men speaking outside. They briefly ask who they are before they're suddenly dropped into silence. Before you hear the voice saying, voice of them saying, uh, "Go back to your homes. I'll handle the situation." And you just hear them say, "Yes, sir, of course, sir," and just hear the doors to the apartments open and then close shut, locked behind them. Um, you then hear a knock on your own door, or on John's door.
He'll respond, "Are you a person within right mind?"
Yes, we heard there was a complaint.
And he'll. Wait, that's a good point. She has a loophole.
Uh, yes.
Then, looking through the hole, my predatory sense to go off of the person in front of me.
What you see is this individual. Um, besuited man, African descent. You see that one side of his face is badly scarred. Like it's been burned. But he's just patiently waiting. There are a couple of individuals behind him. Um, seem to have a black bag with them and various other bits and pieces of equipment.
Seeing that, Casper will open the door. But he'll open it up mainly to kind of confirm, and he'll say, it's like, and he'll just kind of look at them, said, a little weird because he still has his helmet on, but and just nods to them, and once they kind of confirm, his gesture, he'll open up the door enough for everybody to walk in.
He'll go to shake your hand, say pleasure, pleasure. Sorry to keep the formalities short, but as I'm sure you're aware, we've got a situation we need to clean up right and proper, and my dictates are only going to be so effective on our neighbours for so long.
He nods and points out to the room and just the damage she has been doing.
That can be cleaned up in the morrow. He'll grab the keys to the apartment. He'll point to the two other gentlemen who walk inside, both taller and larger than both of you, both him and you. Um, he'll point to the body and say, "If you would."
He'll lift it up and put it in the bag. He'll also take the time to look for any type of ID for this person. Blah.
They have a wallet, has their ID there.
He'll present it to the man with the burnt face.
Nobody I've ever met, but thank you. This would be very useful. He'll slip it into his suit pocket. Alright, well, let's get going, shall we?
And he'll move with him.
He will shake your hand again. Or he'll extend his hand to you, which I presume you shake anyway. It's a bit odd that he does it the second time. But when he does, you feel yourself separate from the world. You sense the familiar power of obfuscation taking over. And you'll see that he does the same to his two colleagues.
And with that, I guess we'll begin moving to their vehicles. He'll lightly whisper that, a form of complaint will probably be made soon, which might lead into a search of the room. So you might want to say that will need to be taken care of.
As I said, we'll sort all of this on the morrow, preferably during the middle of the day when everybody's out to work.
Like, all right.
Right. Let's head back, shall we? He'll take you, or rather, he'll actually take the lift. As you walk out, you'll walk to the car park. It's literally a 30-second walk. He'll take you to a nice, large Range Rover. Grey in colour, fits right in. Is there anything else?
He'll state that someone was interacting with her. She was speaking about a liar.
That is very interesting. If I recall, you were assigned to Miss Rouvroy, so this is perhaps better information to share with her than myself. But I will ensure that the sheriff is informed, so in the event that this rounds back on us, we'll be in the know. In any case, I don't believe I had the opportunity to introduce myself back there. As Ryan Nessel, pleasure.
It's Casper.
Casper, yes, I heard of you. You were in talks with Malthus and the Baron the other evening.
Is it true?
I don't believe I had an opportunity to introduce myself to you then either. It's such a shame. I run the precinct down by Tower Hamlets. If there's anything you need regarding local law enforcement, you know who to turn to, and I appreciate you making this call. Few people call anymore, and it's resulting in an increasing number of situations. So I appreciate that for once one was able to be cleaned up quickly.
This was very precarious. Any moment, it would have been an extreme breach.
You do not know the half of it, my friend. We've been having an increasing number of these incidents as of late. And an ever-increasing number of daytime break-ins.
Interesting.
I would watch yourself. I believe there are a number of parties interested in removing us from the domain's equation.
It's a kindred immortal influence.
I believe it to be mortal. However, with your quarry, I'm not sure. This is the first I'm hearing of a kindred being strung along in a fashion like this. Kindred being strung along is no surprise, but something that's led to this, that is abnormal. From what you're telling me, it's almost like she was convinced I can murder somebody. I know Lady Zhiying personally. She is... well... I do not have a very high opinion of her. Specifically because I could have seen this coming, shall we say. But I expected her to do it of her own volition. That said, I may be wrong. Either way, someone's been manipulating her. Now that you have her in your grasp, I'm sure you'll be able to ascertain as to why. I will call Archon Roveroy. She can collect your prize.
So will do.
I'm sure you and her will be quite heavily involved in the Zhiying's interrogation. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if the good sheriff also wanted to involve himself. As you say, this is quite a precarious situation, and the sheriff is not very charitable when it comes to situations such as these.
Understandable.
And given mortal interference, it is becoming increasingly clear to me as to why. This city needs to clean up its act, as far as I'm concerned.
Understandable. But it is that, a city. Whole lot of things going on. Whole lot of people going all types of directions.
Yes, very much so. Anywho, would you like to wait for the good Archon, or would you like me to give you a short lift?
No, so I'll follow protocol. I'll wait for the Archon.
Amount of protocol appreciated. We have increasingly less of those these nights as well. Really can understand why the elders are becoming so miserable. The future seems to hold very little in store for us. Other than the collective, the kindred collective losing their shit and becoming ever more depraved and manic with every passing year.
He nods.
Alright. The Archon herself shall appear not soon after being given a text by Mr. Nestle. She, however, shows up from nowhere, presumably from Obfuscate, as if she appeared from a shadow. I heard you completed your task.
So, you would be correct, or you wouldn't be here now, would you?
Very true. And you definitely would not be here.
Indeed.
I am relatively impressed. Takes a lot to earn more than just that, but it is a compliment. Anyway, I would like to see the situation before the bloody sheriff ruins it all.
Well, the body's already gone on top of the kindred. They're taken to proper custody. The room is covered in blood. So it will be dealt with, as far as I've been confirmed to. Said I couldn't wait. Said the damage was too severe and too risky to be left alone.
She pinches her nose in frustration a bit. I see. I would have appreciated it if you called me instead, but I understand. Very well. Well, I will examine the property and will petition the sheriff for an interview with the target to which I had assigned you.
Nods.
I do appreciate your assistance in this matter. However, if you would make yourself scarce, I don't wish for us to be spotted in an open area discussing such sensitive topics.
It will do.
Well, have a pleasant evening, Mr. Casper.
Likewise.
And she will obfuscate back into the nether, leaving you to your own devices, and for us to end the scene. Thank you for playing, thank you watchers for watching, we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.